We live in a world that celebrates happiness above all else, on coffee mugs, social media, and in the advice we get from friends. But what happens when we don't feel happy? The push for positivity can become a heavy weight, quietly suggesting sadness is a failure. This is where positivity turns toxic. We start to feel alone in our struggles, as if everyone else has figured out happiness. Toxic positivity forces us into a narrow emotional box, teaching us to hide sadness and anger. True emotional health isn't about being happy all the time. It's about having the courage to feel it all. Toxic positivity is the excessive insistence on a happy, optimistic state in every situation. It's the belief that we should always be positive, no matter what. Instead of acknowledging the full spectrum of emotions, it insists we only express the good ones. It's the voice that says, everything happens for a reason, right after a tragedy, ignoring the pain. This isn't about being ungrateful. Gratitude is healthy. The problem is when positivity silences real emotion. There's a difference between, this is hard, but we'll get through it, and just be positive. The first validates struggle. The second dismisses it. Toxic positivity shuts down conversation and creates a barrier, making people feel they can't be anything less than fine. Our emotions are signals: sadness, anger, fear. They tell us what we need. Toxic positivity tells us to ignore these signals, like turning off a smoke alarm instead of checking for a fire. When we're told to just get over it, we disconnect from our own inner wisdom. At its core, toxic positivity is avoidance, rooted in discomfort with negative emotions. It's easier to offer a cheerful platitude than to sit with someone in their pain. But true connection requires us to witness pain without trying to fix it. We need to honor the full, messy truth of being human, including the difficult feelings. Only then can we truly support each other. Good vibes only sounds appealing, but it hides a real harm. By declaring a space for only good vibes, we're saying sadness, grief, anger, and fear aren't welcome. This forces people to put on a happy face, even when they're struggling. The pressure to perform positivity is isolating. When we're hurting, we need to feel seen and understood. Dismissing someone's pain with a positive platitude can feel like rejection, leading to shame and silence. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear. They get stuck, turning into depression, resentment, or anxiety. By telling ourselves and others to just be happy, we short-circuit the natural process of working through emotions. We miss the chance to build resilience, which comes from facing challenges, not pretending they don't exist. This mindset also damages relationships. True intimacy is built on vulnerability, not just the shiny, happy parts. Good vibes only creates shallow connections and keeps us on the surface. Real love and friendship require the courage to embrace the full spectrum of human experience, together. By insisting on positivity, we choose comfort over connection, leaving us more disconnected and alone. We can't support loved ones if we're unwilling to sit with them in their pain. The harm of good vibes only is real. It severs the connections we need most. Let's choose authenticity over forced cheer. That's where real support and healing begin. The mask of positivity is everywhere, especially on social media. Instagram is a highlight reel: perfect vacations, smiling families, inspirational quotes. This relentless stream of curated perfection distorts reality, making us feel alone in our struggles. It's not just online. Everyday interactions follow the script. How are you? I'm good, thanks. Even when we're not. We wear a mask, smile when we want to cry, and say we're okay when we're falling apart. Corporate culture can also breed toxic positivity. Employees are expected to be upbeat even when stressed or burned out. When people can't voice concerns without being labeled negative, it creates a culture of silence and harms mental health. Even in close relationships, we hide difficult emotions to protect others or avoid being a burden. This emotional dishonesty erodes trust and intimacy. It teaches us that love is conditional on being easy and happy. True relationships are built on the courage to be vulnerable, not on good vibes only. We need spaces where we can be real, not just positive. That's how we build genuine connection. Hiding our true emotions comes at a steep psychological cost. Suppressing feelings is like holding a beach ball underwater. It takes energy, and eventually it bursts out. This constant effort leads to exhaustion, numbness, and anxiety. We perform a version of ourselves that's more acceptable, losing touch with who we really are. The result is emptiness and alienation, even if life looks perfect on the outside. The mind and body are connected. Suppressed emotions can cause headaches, digestive issues, and chronic pain. Our bodies keep the score. Unexpressed feelings become stored as tension. Ignoring emotional signals is ignoring our body's pleas for care. The most heartbreaking cost is that we can't selectively numb emotions. When we shut down sadness, we also dull our capacity for joy. A life spent avoiding pain is a life with muted aliveness. True joy comes from living authentically, embracing every part of the human experience. We find wholeness not by avoiding pain, but by having the courage to feel it. That's the path to real happiness. Healthy emotional expression starts with permission to feel, all of it. It's about accepting every emotion as valid without judgment. We need to acknowledge anger, sit with sadness, and listen to fear. This isn't about being controlled by feelings, but being honest about what's happening inside. Sharing our vulnerability with trusted people builds deep, resilient connections. When we're honest, we remind ourselves and others that we're not alone. Developing a richer emotional vocabulary helps us understand what we're really feeling. Naming our emotions gives us clarity and power over them. Embracing all our feelings is an act of self-compassion, treating ourselves with the kindness we'd offer a friend. It's okay to have bad days, to feel broken, to not be positive all the time. Healthy expression is about embracing our whole, messy humanity. In this acceptance, we find emotional freedom and strength. That's what it means to be truly alive. When someone we care about is hurting, our instinct is to fix it or cheer them up. But the most powerful thing we can do is simply show up and be with them in their pain. This means putting aside our own discomfort and creating a safe space for them to be as they are. True support isn't about fixing, it's about connection. Deep, empathetic listening is key. Listen to understand, not to reply. Give your full attention, let them tell their story, and don't interrupt. Resist the urge to offer advice or share your own experience. Use validating phrases like, "That sounds so hard," or "Tell me more." Avoid judgment and dismissive platitudes like, "Look on the bright side." Instead, acknowledge the pain. "This is just awful. I can't imagine how hard this must be." Support is a marathon, not a sprint. Healing takes time. Check in regularly, not just right after a crisis. Small acts of service, like bringing a meal, show love in concrete ways. True support is about being a steady, compassionate presence for the long haul. That's how we remind people they're not alone. True strength isn't about never falling. It's about facing pain and letting it transform us. Every time we face a difficult emotion with honesty, we build resilience. Our struggles aren't signs of weakness. They're what make us strong. Like building a muscle, emotional resilience grows when we work through discomfort. Avoiding hard feelings makes us less capable of handling life's challenges. When we allow ourselves to feel, we practice self-soothing and adaptability. Negative emotions are powerful teachers. Sadness shows us what we value. Anger reveals boundaries. Fear signals what needs protection. If we numb these feelings, we miss their wisdom. Turning toward pain gives us insight into what needs to change and what matters most. Our struggles become a compass, guiding us to a more authentic life. This process deepens our empathy for others. When we've walked through darkness, we can sit with others in theirs. Our scars become a bridge to connection and compassion. We can say, "I see you, you're not alone." That's how we turn pain into collective strength. We've explored how toxic positivity invalidates our experiences and disconnects us from ourselves and each other. Hiding pain drains our energy, erodes health, and dulls our capacity for joy. The way forward isn't to reject positivity, but to make room for everything else. The goal isn't to be happy all the time, but to be whole. This takes courage, honesty with ourselves and those we trust. It's the courage to sit with a friend in sorrow, to let go of good vibes only, and to embrace the full reality of being human. True emotional health lies in integrating all our parts, not in a perfect facade. Let's create spaces where all feelings are welcome, listen more than we advise, and validate pain instead of dismissing it. When we ask, "How are you?" let's be ready for honesty. Our strength is measured by our willingness to move through pain, not avoid it. Our struggles are central to our story, carving out compassion and character. By embracing our whole, messy selves, we become more resilient and more human. That's a far more beautiful goal than simply being happy.